Hi. What era are you in?
Oh, is that how this goes? Okay. Well, I will tell you that this is one topic of all the topics that you and I have talked about that I really feel like I can contribute greatly to.
Love that.
I know. All right. So let's define it. What does it actually mean to find the courage to reinvent ourselves?
Yes. Okay. So reinventing ourselves lets us grow and evolve into the person that we are meant to be because life is dynamic, life is fluid, and so are we. And staying in the same place physically, mentally, emotionally can hold us back. And of course, it takes courage and energy to step out of our comfort zone and chase new opportunities, but that will always bring us closer to living in alignment. And we have all lived through and survived our hardest day. We've all gone through our worst day. So the courage to do hard things, it lives in each of us. So we can do this. And very simply, what we're talking about is meeting a new version of ourselves. Think about who you were in your 20s. Think about who you were when you first had kids. Are you that same person? Of course not. Every day, every month, every year, we are having experiences and relationships and challenges that are shaping new versions of ourselves. And it's about taking what's working in our lives and expanding those things while also letting go of the things that no longer serve us. That's reinvention.
Yeah, here's the underlying principle for me, though, is that my core values have always remained constant. So when you're talking about meeting me, in my era of, Nicole, 4.0 or 10.0 or wherever I'm at, consistently you can always count on my character traits. But why is reinventing ourselves like such a thing we should be thinking about? And I'm a believer.
Yeah, I think it's just, we have to grow. Like we are so different. And if we don't let out all of the different versions of ourselves, we are going to be restless. We are going to be angry. We are going to be annoyed with life because we are not reaching our full potential. So if reinvention sounds too like harsh or too out there, think of it as you're simply meeting a version of yourself that's already in you. You're just letting her out. You're just letting him out. That's all it is. So it can be scary to think about, oh, I've got to totally reinvent myself. It's more about getting clear on who you are and letting different versions of yourself be seen.
So exciting. All right, so let's cover some steps on how to begin this process.
Yes. Okay. I've got 5 steps for you. The first is to take inventory of where you are versus where you want to be. Reflect on what brings you joy, what gives you energy, what are you drawn to, what do you wonder about? What are you doing that's no longer serving you, and is how you're spending your time in service of your values and living a life that you capital L love. Number 2, take a small step. My small step in my bird artist and author journey was buying a sketchbook and markers in 2021. You don't have to know where it's going to lead. I certainly didn't. But the sketchbook led to putting my birds on cards. Then that led to me writing a children's book. And I am now in year 4 of this bird journey, and I could never have predicted where I am now. So when you take one step with intention, the next step will always appear. Number 3, recognize it is not too late for anything. I've got a friend that got braces in her late 40s, and she said, by the grace of God, I will get to be 2 years older. I may as well have straight teeth. I was 41 years old when I started drawing again. Julia Child was 50 years old when she started her career as a chef. As long as you have breath, your movie is not over, and thinking you are too old is simply an excuse. Number 4, realize it's less about actual reinvention and more about getting to know yourself and letting out all the different parts of you. The part who has always wanted to learn to play guitar, the part who's always wanted to visit Croatia, the part who's always wanted to foster dogs or turn your hair blue. And this means that we have to let go of other things. So if I'm going to learn guitar, that means what am I not doing? What time in my day am I going to change and reprioritize to do something that I really love? And as we get older, we just kind of keep adding stuff to our plate. But in order to make room for new growth, we got to let go of some of that stuff. And number 5 is schedule your reinvention tune-ups. So whether it's every few months with the changing seasons, we're in fall, we're going to be in winter, or maybe it's once a year on your birthday, or maybe it's the first day of every month. But Put time on the calendar to do your inventory, to plan your small steps, and to write down those dreams in your heart.
I always love your action items for sure. But how about for somebody who is like really struggling with what direction to take as they reinvent themselves? What advice would you give them?
Know that you can't do it wrong. For some people, reinvention means a major career change. For others, it might mean stopping drinking or trying a new hairstyle or painting their house bright yellow. Reinventing yourself, it doesn't come with a blueprint or specific instructions like a piece of IKEA furniture. It's important to view your own reinvention as a process and think of it as you're unfolding. You are just continuing to unfold. And reinvention, it's not a one-time event. It is a lifelong journey. So be patient with yourself. But when you're feeling stuck, you're unfulfilled, or you're restless, these are big indications that change is needed. And if you're constantly daydreaming about a different life, or if your current situation feels draining, or if you find that you're simply going through the motions without any passion, these are all signs that it's time to reinvent yourself. We are so different at age 7 to 13 years old, to 25, to 62, and somewhere along the way, we stop meeting new versions of ourselves. We grow so much in the first 30 years of our lives, and then we keep ourselves in these boxes. And yet we get to emerge again and again and again, not only for the benefit of ourselves, but for the benefit of the world. And life can be an incredible adventure. And instead of thinking about all the things that you haven't done or that you wish you've done, just remember it's not that you can't. You just simply haven't met the version of yourself who can. And she's in there and he's in there waiting to be let out.
All right, well, can I share an example with you?
Yes.
Okay, so anybody can insert the noun and the verb in this story, but this is how the story plays out, okay? So being a mom was the only job I never had any skills for. I did not have to apply for, and I turned out to be the best mom, and it just came naturally. So talk about reinventing yourself. One night you're by yourself and independent, and the next night you're responsible for another life, and that turned out to be one of the best jobs I've ever had.
I love that so much. And thank you for sharing that. I believe that everything that is meant for us will find us. And we do have to. So you must have thought about being a mom, right? So that you had that dream, you had that yearning.
Wait, hold on. I forgot. I left that part out. No, no, that was not in my future crystal ball plan. But obviously that's how it came about. So,
and you had everything you need to be awesome at it. And I think that's such a great lesson for everyone. You're in these situations, you're not sure you can do it. Trust the process of your life, trust the timing of your life, that you will always have what you need.
Yeah. Well, I did have a great role model too, my mother. So, well, thanks, honey, for this.
What a beautiful reinvention that has been, by the way.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again for the time. I invite you to go out and challenge yourself to reinvent yourself. Life is short. Go out and take that risk.